Thank you, Mr. Khizr Zaman. You brought important points and you talked about uplifting PIA so we can fly with better people. You talked about PhD education being collaborative. Like it's the same case in China. Like they have a very good model of industry to academia collaboration. And it's kind of a triangle between their ministries and universities and industries. So they make a triangle, and the government asks the industry that these are our certain goals and these are the projects on which people will be working, and then they request the universities that we need people, these kind of people with these credentials to work on certain projects. So what happens? They announce the PhD scholarship or a postdoctoral scholarship, and when people enroll in that, so the students get a PhD or postdoctoral fellowship degrees, and the industry gets their desired level of problem is solved, problem solutions, and the province or the state or the county gets achieve its goals. Like they have their different goals, 5-year plans and things. So it moves in a triangle kind of thing, and I'm glad you brought this point. And then you talked about poverty alleviation. Yeah, that's Chinese miracle, and we can follow this. It's everyone is talking about this. He brought the example of South Korea, like the technology, what technology can do for us. Like they are not an oil producing country, South Korea, but then they have this collaboration with Arab countries, and they import oil, and then they kind of do this technology enhancement things and send it back and export it to other countries. So that's a very good example. And you know what is happening right now, like on the geopolitical front, we are having Arab-China summit. It's going on, and China has signed so many agreements with Arab countries, and like Qatar and China have signed 27-year plan for the fuel, and China would be importing that fuel from Qatar. So that's something very important going on when we talk geopolitically. So one friend of mine was talking, the FIFA World Cup is going on in Qatar, but the real victorious is China. And since they have signed so many agreements with Qatar, and Arab Summit is going on. Then you talked about modern technology initiatives and initiatives from China. So all this makes very good learning points, what we can learn from China and how we can do. So there are a lot of things, like if we start doing it, there are a lot of domains, and all we need is perhaps a willpower or direction, because I feel like we already have the blueprint, but sometimes when the brakes are applied, like we don't continue with the policies. So the governments, they don't take the ownership of the previous government policies, and they kind of throw it in the dustbin. So that's how the process is derailed, and we cannot progress as a nation. So one of the important lessons from this session is, of course, the continuity of policies. That's very important. Mr. Azim Khan is also waiting, and he would like to contribute. Sir, if you would like to contribute, the floor is yours. You can share your thoughts. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. I think first, Musawwar, you should conclude first if you want to.
Okay, Azim Saab, sure.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Shamsul Hasan Saab. I think everything has, most of the things are almost covered, and I am not expert on that, but I think one thing is missing. We discussed about special economic zones. We discussed about China-Pakistan cooperation in agricultural sector, economic sector, commercial ties. But I think we didn't discuss about railway, then special, we can say free trade areas. So I will be focusing on the recent, there are round of talks that are going to be held in Beijing about the free trade areas, especially the free trade area in Gwadar. And then there is an upgradation of railway network, upgradation of Pakistan Railway. So I'll be focusing on the upgradation of Pakistan Railway. Recently, under free trade area, China-Pakistan free trade area, that give boost to trade and economic relations between the two countries. Recently, the two sides signed an agreement on a technical package for upgradation of Pakistan's main railway line, ML1. So on completion of ML1, Pakistan Railway will benefit in terms of increasing the speed of 65 km per hour to 105 km per hour, increase in the capacity of 34 to 171 trains each way per day. Also increases the freight volume from 6 to 35 million tons per year by 2025. And these negotiations are currently going on in Beijing or may be held next month as well. But this will be concluded and this will be completed in 2025. Also, each way per day, an increase in railway share of freight transport volume from the current less than 4 to 20 pound weight. So under the next phase of the agreement, because all these things are coming under the CPEC projects. So there is a CPEC project, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Under that, there is a free trade agreement. And under free trade agreements, there is upgradation of railway. This is what I'm talking about. So under the next phase of the agreement, the Ministry of Railway, Pakistan and the National Railway Administration of China will jointly start the construction work on the project. Prior to start of work, the final cost of the project will be worked out and agreement of financing would be finalized after considering the available options for financing. According to the spokesperson of Ministry of Railway of China, they explained. So the signing of the declaration of preliminary design for completion of the first phase of Pakistan Railways existing main line, ML1, has laid the foundation of cooperation between Pakistan and China in the railway sector. So here, China is starting from the upgradation of our railway network. And then after that, they see and they are going to work jointly between Pakistan Railway and Chinese Railway to maybe initiate a new project after 2025, maybe initiate a new railway project that will definitely increase not only the train speed but also the comfort as well. You can say the time limit as well. There may be an establishment of railway network in other cities of Pakistan, where there is not an availability. We have railway network in Rawalpindi, in Havelia, in other cities as well. But maybe in upcoming years after 2025 or maybe close to 2024, 2025, China, Pakistan can initiate joint ventures in railway networks as well. As far as free trade area is concerned, there are negotiations going on the free trade area in Gwadar. So that will be finalized soon. So I think we have to move further towards technology transfer, as we said. So this can be achievable, maybe not now, but in upcoming maybe 5 years or 10 years. But we have to move towards technology transfer. And I think the upgradation of ML1 paves the way for further, you can say, technological cooperation, or you can say a cooperation at the level of transportation and all that. That will definitely lead towards, you can say, the technology transfer. And then we will be able to, work mutually with our Chinese counterparts. So this is what I wanted to discuss. And also lastly, recently our Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif also visited China, and on the invitation of the President Xi Jinping. So in their committee of CPEC, I think Prime Minister of Pakistan was one of them, one of the first leaders to join that conference. And I think that shows an interest and interest of China and interest and trust as well on Pakistan. And definitely we have to, there are many other things to discuss, but I think we are hopeful that our collaboration will increase in future, and these are good signs for Pakistan that now we are moving, we are moving towards other sectors as well, not only energy, not only infrastructure, but moving towards railway, upgradation of our airports as well, or maybe future projects that will definitely enhance the economy of Pakistan, and that will contribute towards the economic prosperity. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Musawir Tanoli Sahab. You also brought very important points into the conversation. You talked about the ML1 and the technology transfer. When we're talking about ML1, it's a very important project, and still we are having that old railway tracks that were made by Britishers, and that's still like and we didn't upgraded it, and we didn't brought any innovation into it. In this area, we can also learn a lot from China. Like China, when they started to develop modernize their railways, and then they brought it into those high-speed trains, high-speed rails. So it's a complete learning project how they brought that technology into their country. Initially, they had to learn from Japan, Germany, and France. And on the initial project of the high-speed rail, they had to learn from those countries. And when they learned from them, then they brought their own innovation into that high-speed rail, and now they're producing the best high-speed rails in the world, and they are also transferring this technology and selling it to the rest of the world. So it's a great model if we want to learn from them. And you mentioned about technology transfer. Yes, technology transfer, they have no problem in transferring their technology. If they had, they won't have transferred it to their other neighboring countries like Southeast Asia, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, Thailand. Like they've signed a free trade agreement between these Southeast Asian countries, Indonesia, Malaysia. This RCEP agreement, RCEP, RCEP agreement recently that they signed in 2021, it's between China, Japan, and South Korea and ASEAN countries. So they don't have problem with technology transfer, but we have to really introspect, and we have to see why they're not coming to us, why they are not doing this technology transfer in Pakistan. The main reason is that we haven't been able to give them that kind of environment. Like the safety is the first thing for them, and that's something we are not able to give them. And whenever they feel like their people are safe here, like yes, you will find so many Chinese people in Islamabad, but are they safe in Quetta? Are they safe in Karachi? Are they safe in all our country? That's a question mark. So they don't have problem. I think Pakistan would be on the will be the number one country they would like to do the technology transfer thing, because we have so many good variables. Like when we talk about the labor cost that are very low in Pakistan. So similar indicators when America did this technology transfer thing, and when China was producing everything, and it was the factory of the world. So similar kind of things for us, but we have to provide that enabling environment. I'll move quickly to our next speaker. Mr. Azim Khan is waiting. Over to you, sir. Floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shams. Our senior vice president, Mr. Multazim, wanted to add something.
Yes, now it's fine.
Sorry, first of all, I just wanted to thank all of you for all the hard work that you guys have been putting in since so many sessions now. Today is the last session, and I wanted to congratulate each and every one of you on making it successful, and all the input that all of you have gathered and shared with each other. I also wanted to thank the students, the keynote speakers, and the panelists, and also the youth diplomacy forum for helping and fulfilling this. I can say it's a small dream that we have achieved this, and you guys have given a lot of information, shared a lot of information with a lot of facts. Us Pakistanis, we have to think a little about what we are doing. As you people have also mentioned it in different timings, we have to look into ourselves, what we are doing for the world, what we are doing for our country. Basically, our founder, Qaid Azam, he had given us, three very important slogans or words: unity, faith, and discipline. It's displayed in different parts of Pakistan, even in Islamabad, the capital city. We have to unite, we have to have faith, and we have to have discipline. A lot of big companies are interested in working in Pakistan. They are interested in our minerals. We have four seasons, we have mountains, we have minerals, we have our Pakistani brain, the common man's brain is very sharp. In Urdu, most of our people, they call ourselves each other कि भाई हम पाकिस्तानी बहुत बड़े जुगाड़ी हैं, कोई भी चीज में मसला हो तो हम उसको चला लेते हैं. Like for example, I have visited a lot of countries in the world, including China. The vehicles, the old vehicles that are still running in Pakistan are not running anywhere in the world. Even if it's a Land Cruiser, 1940s Land Cruisers, and other vehicles like Mercedes from 1970s is still running on the highways of Pakistan, on the mountains of Pakistan. And we can do it. We just need to be united, and we have to have a discipline. We individually, we give respect to all the locals, our own Pakistani people and foreigners. Recently, a lot of TikTokers and social media related people have been coming to Pakistan, roaming around in different places. And very surprisingly, in most of the places, they are not even charged for the food that they're having. And some places, they are not charged for the hotels they're staying in. This is the love that we show them. But when they come with money to invest, some big companies are successful. But a lot of companies, they come in, they start some projects. A lot of Chinese companies have come in, but after some time, 2 or 3 years, they went back. Some Saudi investors have invested a lot of money, especially while talking about the steel industry. There is a very big setup in Karachi, near Port Qasim. But the promises that were made were not completely, the commitments were not gone through with those big companies, and they had to shut down their plants after investing millions and millions of dollars. So I think that's all I have to say. Love Pakistan, and even a lot of our I read this small article a few days ago, in which it was stating that 65 or 69% of students nowadays the new generation that is coming up, is not planning to stay in Pakistan. Their preference is to go out, if it is the Gulf or the European countries or or America or Canada or even China, and settle there, do business over there, and then they earn from there and they send the money back. That is also important. We need dollars and all that, but we need the good professional people from all aspects of life, like for example, good doctors, good engineers. They should stay here. We have to make an environment where they can stay and give and produce things for Pakistan, so that inshallah Pakistan can also become a very big exporter, just like China. Thank you very much. That's all.
Thank you, Multazim Khan Saab. You gave a message of hope and optimism to our youth, and you talked about producing good human resource. You talked about we are producing good doctors and good engineers. And yes, at the end, we'll be concluding. I shall be talking a little bit about we should be also producing good sinologists. That's also much needed, and that's the need of not only for Pakistan. That's required by world over. It's the requirement of the world. So there's a great demand of sinologists and those people who understand China, and they could be from any domain, but as long as they understand China, they could be in good demand. So moving ahead to our next speaker, Mr. Azim Khan, please go ahead with your contribution.
Thank you very much. I want to thank everyone during this who participated during these last 8 sessions, and I want to thank all the special speakers and all the panelists. And Mr. Syed Shamsul Hassan has played a great role. And Mr. Asad Zamir Asad is not here today. Also thanks to him. Hina Habib and Khizar Zaman, you all did great work. Thank you very much for these 8 sessions for enlightening us all. And I also want to thank all the university students who participated and joined us during these all 8 sessions. We will continue this in future. Also, we will bring different topics on different aspects of China-Pakistan relations. And the 8 topics which we discussed during last 8 sessions, these all topics are very deep. But we have given, because of it was a start, so we have given every topic 1 to 2 hours to discuss it. But I think every topic has that much deepness that we can talk for hours and days for one topic alone. So we will start with different topics in future, and we will further elaborate that, and we will find ways to how we as a society, Pakistani society, can get benefited from this Chinese progress. Now, I will share one experience, my personal experience here. As Xinjiang is our hometown, so we are visiting Xinjiang for a very long time. Until 1980s, we were followed in Xinjiang and China as a trendsetter. Whenever we visited Xinjiang, our hometown, Kashgar, Yarkand, the people there used to follow what we are wearing, how we talk, and how we move, even that. So that the people in Xinjiang and in most parts of mainland China also, the people used to follow us because we were the vibrant society at that time until 80s. But between 1990 and 2000, every time we visited China, things were changed there. We have seen during 90s to 2000, whenever I visited Xinjiang, Urumqi, I experienced extremely changed. They are developing very rapidly, and in 80s we were the trendsetters. During 90s to 2000, the things changed in that manner that we started following them. So this change I experienced personally in my life, and I know what are the issues why we fell down like this, and we brought in the last of the queue when we are standing in first row a few decades back. That is another topic. We will discuss it some other time. So I want to say that if we talk about, there was a question about sovereignty that we have to think about. So we have to keep the sovereignty on top of everything. But I think in relation with China, in Pakistan-China relations and friendship, there is no threat to anyone's sovereignty from each other. Both the countries know their boundaries and they really trust each other. That's why this friendship is getting stronger and stronger in every coming hour from last 7 decades. So that is the first indicator that there is no threat for our sovereignty. The stories West try to tell us and they try to warn us. They are only trying to trap us because they know our potential. They know the potential Pakistani people have, and they know that if this nation has given a piece of 10 to 15 years, this society will also transform and will be developed. So they are continuously trying to keep us back and backward, and they are harvesting, showing conflicts in our region because they know our potential. They know that if we get the peace until even for 10 years, we will be a transformed society. So China is a hope for a nation who the situation we are facing now. China is a great hope for us, and Chinese achievement is a great advantage for us as a close neighbor and close friend of China. We interact with Chinese diplomats, Chinese people from long time because we have roots in China. So we never found that any Chinese diplomat, they I would say, like in the words, that they understand what are our problems. So they always told us the solution for our problems. What we are facing, the situation we are facing, they always offered the solution for that. I never felt that there is any intention of taking advantage. They always try to educate us that how you will be able to resolve your issues and how you will be able to move ahead. And they are until today they are doing it, and they are also optimistic about our future because Pakistani people has great potential. But the lacking point is that especially for university students, we are not connected, or we are not playing our role. We think that one leader will come and that leader will resolve all the issues. And as a citizen or as an individual, we don't have any role to play. So that is the most dangerous misconception or the attitude our nation is going through. The space our ordinary people has created, in that space, mafias came to existence. So the major problem is that every individual from our society should realize its responsibility and should play even a smaller role for the betterment of our society, for their surrounding, where they are living. We can start from our streets, and then this society will change. When a small number of people will initiate and understand their responsibility, things will start change. People learn from each other. So when you will do some good deed, people will follow you. So that is lacking in our society. Maybe overall circumstances are not pushing us on that direction, but that positivity lacks in our society from a long time. So I think it's time to, it's 6 o'clock now. So I will end my conversation here, and I'll thank everyone once again for their participation. And soon we will start more sessions with more comprehensive topics and deep discussions in it. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Azim Khan Saab. You talked about the importance of small things, and we know that the Chinese development, it was an incremental process and it was a slow process, but they keep on adding things and they keep on experimenting, and that's how they are now an emerging superpower of the world. Musawwir Tanoli has raised his hand. I would refer to him. Yes, you have the.
So thank you so much. I would just like to give my closing remarks. I would like to thank all the participants, those who joined us from different parts of Pakistan and outside Pakistan as well. And also I would like to thank our speakers and our panelists, especially those who are with us during these 8 sessions, and especially the moderator for the panelists, Syed Shamsul Hasan Saab, for joining us and for contributing, very actively and positively during all these 8 sessions, and we can say panelists, and especially to the Azim Khan Saab, Multazim Khan Saab, and ex-Chinese Association and team of Youth Diplomacy Forum for making this online internship program, progressive, and I can say productive for all of us. Even though we learn a lot of things from our speakers, from our panelists, that the information we got, we didn't know before about this. So it was very informative even for me. And I hope so that our participants learn a lot during these 8 sessions of our internship program. So thank you so much again to everyone, all those who joined us, and our speakers, panelists, and the members of Youth Diplomacy Forum and ex-Chinese Association. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Musawwir Tanoli Saab, for your concluding remarks. I would also like to congratulate our listeners, audience, for their patience, and they must have learned a lot from these sessions, and our speakers tried to create a quality content. So this content is now on the social media, and you can refer to this content anytime. And not only this, you can also share this with your friends and those who are interested to learn more about China, those who are interested to learn more about Xinjiang and Pak-China relationships and some of the interesting topics that we covered. So, dear students, what we learned is that the learning is an incremental process, and being a student, you should keep on learning, and slowly you should learn, and we should learn from China and the Chinese examples. And just as one of the speakers yesterday mentioned that when China during 70s and 80s, they were not very rich. It was not very rich country, but still they sent their people to United States of America, and they learned those skills and then came back with the degrees, and those graduates came back and contributed in the development of China. Not only China, they learned from their neighboring countries, just as one of the speakers today mentioned. And has also said that it's a documented fact that China also learned from Pakistan, and they keep on acknowledging this fact. So learn from China and collaborate with each other. Like the Chinese model, yesterday Zamira Sadi mentioned that socialism with Chinese characteristics. So what is socialism with Chinese characteristics? It's a people-centric model, and it talks about win-win proposition. So collaborate among yourselves, and last but not the least, whenever you see some statement or some information shared with you by Western media outlets, try to, because these days there's a 5G war, and they are making a lot of propaganda and creating a lot of noise about Xinjiang. So try to verify and cross-check and make it a habit, like do some objective research. And only then you would be having a viewpoint. That's an important thing. I wanted to share the Twitter accounts of some of the speakers that we had. but since we are having short time, but you can always refer to us. All of the speakers, we are on Twitter, so connect with them and learn from them. So with this, I would conclude and thank everybody today. And I'm getting some remarks in chat. Thank you so much for such an amazing speeches, Emma Norozova from Azerbaijan, and Binish Zara is saying thank you for providing us an amazing opportunity. It was really helpful and we learned a lot. So thank you, all the people, those who are listening, everyone. So with this, I would stop and wish you best of luck, and we may join in the next sessions. Organizers are there, they would design a learning session, and whenever they do, we would be again joining and we would be again listening to each other. Thank you so much. Take good care of yourselves. And with this, Allah Hafiz. Bye-bye. Khuda Hafiz.